Привет, comrades! If you haven't figured out by now, we're going to be talking about World War II Russian equipment and rations, and I apologize ahead of time for my horrible Russian accent, but so we'll take a look here with some equipment and rations that were typical of a Red Army soldier during World War II. Start off taking a look at the M40 steel helmet. These helmets were used by Russian forces well beyond World War II. Similar usage range as the US M1 steel helmet. And protection was similar. If you look, it looks pretty thin, but I've watched some ballistics tests on these, and they actually will stop some small arms fire. So it's a pretty decent design on the helmet. Take a look over here. We have a Soviet Nagant 1895 7-shot revolver. If you look here, it's got the Soviet stamping on it. These were used well after World War II as well, because this revolver is unique in the fact that it can be silenced. So they were popular with some of the more clandestine of Russian forces, KGB, NVKD, all those type of police forces. Back here in the back, we got the 9130 Nagant bolt-action rifle, standard service rifle for the Soviet Army during World War II. Remained in some service after the war, but the AK-47 would eventually phase it out. But, you know, these are pretty reliable rifle. This is one of the earlier hex receivers, for some of you that are familiar with weapons collecting. This one's dated, pardon me, 1929, and you can see the Soviet emblem up there. So both the pistol and the rifle are pre-war and in really good shape. So as for our rations, we have sunflower seeds. These were pretty common with Russian forces, and they would serve in these little cotton bags, just whole sunflower seeds. We have a Russian tea. Apparently this is pretty strong, so we'll see that here in the second part of the video. We have some sweetened condensed milk. This was obtained through the Lend-Lease Act, which, if you don't know, was an agreement between the United States and some of our allies to assist with food, weapons, and other material to our allies in their fight against the Germans. So they obtained some things like that. This is a can of Russian fish called Sprot, if I'm pronouncing it correct. It's S-P-R-O-T, and I'm assuming it's going to be like a sardine. I guess this is kind of a traditional food in Russia. And then here we have some Russian hardtack crackers. So pretty hard. I'm sure those are going to be fun to eat. So that's kind of some of the typical Russian items, ration-wise, in World War II. And I'm going to get the equipment out of the way, and then we'll be back to test the ration out. Alrighty, so now we're back. We're going to start looking at the ration itself here. I think the first thing I'm going to get going is the tea, so we can get some water heated. So we'll go ahead and light our S-bit stove here with our US matches, but perhaps they would have obtained some of these through Lend-Lease, who knows. So let's open up this box of tea and see what we got going on inside here. This is supposed to be a really strong Russian tea. Oh yeah, look at that. So that's just true tea. It's not even in a bag. You're actually going to need a thing to steep that in. I'll have to see if I don't really have a tea, one of those little things you do with old-fashioned tea, so we'll have to figure that part out. But it definitely looks like it'll be pretty strong. Curious to see how it smells before I set it aside. Carefully open this without dumping it. It almost looks like peat moss or something. It does smell good. This is a very strong, like natural tea flavor, but scent to it. I'm sure that's going to be pretty good. Once I figure out how I'm going to brew it exactly. So we'll go ahead and set this off to the side. Well, we'll take a look at the hardtack crackers. These are, I'm imagining, to be very similar to U.S. old, 19th century Civil War type hardtack. Probably very hard biscuits. So this ration came over from the guys from Repo Rations, like the previous British 24-hour ration I did. So let's see. Let's see if we can get that going here. They seal these things up pretty good. Get that P38 back out. I will imagine that even though this is a World War II ration, that the Russian rations probably didn't change a whole lot for years even after World War II. I know today they issue something very similar to the US MRE, ready to go, pre-made type meals. So, well, it doesn't seem too terribly hard. I mean, maybe in the original ones may have been harder than this, but it's definitely a dense cracker. So let's see how it tastes. Okay. Well, it's definitely not a tooth-breaking hardtack, but it's a crunchy, kind of a dry, lightly buttery type cracker. I imagine it'll go well with the Sprot, although I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of canned fish, other than, say, tuna fish. I don't really eat sardines or anything like that, so this should be interesting. See if this can works well with the US P38 can opener. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh. The problem is with a lot of these modern cans is they don't have the deep lid that P38s were originally designed to work with. And so you can't get quite the leverage you need. Let me try something real quick. Alright, so after a bit of fiddling there, I did get the P38 to puncture the lid. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. It's just not the same opening a ration can when using a modern can opener. P38's always a little tricky to get started, but once you get the rhythm, it usually starts out fairly well. I'm just curious while we're going at it, see what this smells like. Ooh. So, yeah, that's a strong fish smell. That smells like you're down by the water, down by the docks type of fish smell. So I'm going to get this finished open and I'll be right back. Alright. So, we got this can just about open. Let me tell you. Have you ever been down to the beach and you know there's like a fish washed up on shore? That's what this can smells like. Not particularly appetizing, in my opinion. I guess for those of you out there who might like canned fish. Oh, God. Let me tell you, it looks like cat food in there. It kind of has the consistency of cat food. I don't think I got it quite open enough. Here, I'll spin this around. You can take a look inside there. Let's see if I can get this open some more without cutting myself. Oh, yeah, so I'm going to be up front. This is probably going to go to the cat, but we'll just... Oh, see, when I pictured this, I assumed it was going to be like sardines laid in there. It's like a fish hash type deal. And, Oh yeah, I mean, it just smells like salty dead fish. So, yeah, so that's pretty interesting right there. I guess I have to taste it, right? Maybe put it on a cracker and it won't be so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna just take a little taste to start off with. Oh yeah, it's just... Oh yeah, no. Nope, I'm not about that. It's just salty fish. It tastes fish paste. So we're just gonna eat this cracker. I think our Espit stove went out, so that's no good. Nope. Yep, it did. So bear with me here. I'm going to figure out how to do this tea, and then I'll be right back. Sorry for this one being a little choppy, but I wasn't prepared for that old-fashioned style tea. Okay, so sorry again for the other delay there. We got the Espit going nice and strong this time, so that tea will be going in no time. Here, I'll give you another close-up of that Russian Sprot fish on the hardtack cracker. I mean, it's just... I probably got to eat a piece, but I just don't want to do it yet. Not till I have something to wash it down with. So, in the meantime, let's try a couple of these sunflower seeds. Just your standard sunflower seed. Not anything too fancy. These have been lightly salted. I imagine these guys are getting these just off the shelf. I know, like, the Sprot and the tea actually is from Russia, so... I'm not sure if these are truly Russian sunflower seeds, but they're good nonetheless. And then I guess while we're waiting, we can maybe look at this sweetened condensed milk. This probably would have been good. I know in some of the Russian rations, they issued like a really basic cracked wheat kind of cereal. I imagine you could have added this in there too. That would have been good, as well as, like I said, in the tea. So we'll take a look at that here in a minute. I really don't have anything to, as far as to steep this tea. So I'm just going to, it's probably not going to be the best thing, but I'm just going to put some of the tea into this hot water and hope for the best. I'm not sure it's going to go well drinking this, but I guess we'll see what happens as that steeps up. I don't even know how much to add, to be honest. Keep stirring it here. Oh, we listen to some traditional Russian music. It's starting to steep in there. That spit went out of the end. Oh, actually, isn't going the best. So that's what that tea looks like. I mean, it's got little bits of tea leaf in it, so that's going to be interesting. See if I can sip some of this without the leaf. Okay. That's not bad. It really isn't bad. If you're careful when you drink it, you can kind of drink around the tea leaves and let that steep a little bit more. And I guess we're gonna, well, wish me luck here. I'm really not looking forward to this. Okay, so it's really not anything I would ever want to eat. It just tastes like salty fish. If you like sardines, you'd probably like that. To me, that's all bad. So we're gonna try to drink some more of this tea with this cracker and get rid of that flavor. Yeah, the tea helps. So, well, the last thing to check out is the sweet condensed milk. So we'll go ahead and open that up here in a second, and then that'll be pretty much it. Oh man, nothing in this video's gone right today. I'm sorry, another cut out there. I misplaced my P38. Once again, modern cans and P38s don't always work the best. They just weren't. That, or if your P38's a little dull. As you use these, they get dull. So it looks like we cracked that open. You don't need to open it too much. It's just milk. So let's take a little taste of it. Put it out on the on a spoon here. So, very creamy-like looking. That's pretty. Man, that's a pretty decent flavor for a shelf-stable milk product. Has some of that to the tea. It's like very, very creamy, as you would expect for a condensed milk. Try that with the tea. It adds a little something to tea. Honestly, the tea is really good by itself. I like strong tea, so. Well, I'm sorry this wasn't the best video. A couple little hiccups there, but I definitely pass on the Russian Sprot if you're not a fish person. If you're doing any Russian reenacting and you're going to get some repo rations from the guys over there, go with the mystery meat can, which is, well, that doesn't sound a whole lot better, but all I can say is I'm glad I didn't serve in the Soviet Army in World War II. The food didn't look very good, and, well, there's a lot to be said about some of the other things they did. So I got some other videos planned here soon. Thanks for watching again, and everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you have food better than the Sprot.